During your walk with God, I find that one of the hardest things to do is waiting while armored. What I mean is, you work so hard to put on the full armor of God, and now you're in a waiting season, and you must wait while you are fully armored. The armor can get very heavy. Some days you may want to put your sword down. Other days you may want to take off your helmet. But the last thing you want to do is have to start over and get back in alignment. You know how hard it was for you to be able to put on this armor. You know the fight, the spiritual warfare that you had to go through. Not a day goes by that you don't wake up and thank God for just another day. So much goes on around you, yet you humble yourself, get on your knees, and seek God. Without that armor, you know you would fall, but you are now strong enough to carry it. Keep going with God.
To Mommy Kenna.
So today is day 16 of something new, and God wanted me to speak about Jonah and the well. And I found it quite funny when he told me that, because I was reading Jonah and the well not too long ago, and I remember getting understanding on how Jonah felt when God was speaking to him. And I remember just laughing because I could relate so much to how Jonah felt. God told me to start making videos, start getting on TikTok, and then I was supposed to shift to YouTube. And I didn't really take hold of it. I was just being obedient to God, like, God, you want me to do this? I'm gonna do it because I know you're gonna bless me. And I kept doing it, waiting on the blessing, but I wasn't seeing God anywhere. Yet I felt trapped where I was. And many times, if you are running from God, if you are running from the assignment God gives you, you can run all you want. You will always feel trapped in a box, just trapped, like you can't get out. There's only so far you can run before God starts pulling you back in. And that's sort of how like Jonah was. Jonah ran from God, found himself trapped in a fish. And finally you get to that point where it's like, okay, Lord, I'll do what you want me to do. And that's exactly how I felt. Like I felt trapped until God had to bring me to a point where it's like, okay, I will fully walk into this. I will take hold of it. I will take authority of it. And I will do what you ask me to do. Not expecting you to bless me from it. Not expecting a blessing from it. But because this is what I'm called to do. This is what you have me doing in this season. And so I would pray, God, help me to love this. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't like being public. I'm a private person. And so I would always pray, God, help me to love what you want me to love. And so it really was difficult for me. And I related to Jonah on that, is I don't want to do that. I don't want to speak, Lord, like, God, you're already working and moving in people's lives. Have someone else do it. Call someone else to do it. You are not walking in alignment with what God wants for you. When you feel like you are running from God, when you feel like you are lost, everything around you will tell you this is not for you. You will try to settle in relationships, friendships, careers, and nothing will satisfy you. Everything that I would do to try to satisfy what I felt would make me successful, I felt unsuccessful. It didn't satisfy me. I would go shopping and buy everything I wanted, get home, and I was still unsatisfied. And then I realized there is a way that God has for me. There is a path that God has laid for me with a solid foundation to walk down. And if I don't take that path, everything else around me would become uncomfortable, would become to the point where I feel like I'm not in alignment somehow. And I will look and I will search and I would find that nothing is satisfying unless I'm on the path God has for me. There are times you think, well, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna serve God. But there's gonna come a time where you have to choose. Do this or serve God. And a lot of the times when you choose to serve God, when you choose to lead and go in God's direction, God will do exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ask or think. What you wanted, God will give you that 10 times better. God will give you everything that you had desired in His way. One thing I noticed reading the book of Jonah is that God always had Jonah in His hands. It didn't matter if Jonah ran from God. It didn't matter when Jonah was in the fish. It didn't matter when Jonah kept crying out to God, talking about how he wanted to die, how miserable he was. When the plant grew and the plant died, it didn't matter. God was always with Jonah. God had his eyes on Jonah. God protected Jonah while he was in the fish. God protected Jonah through the storm. God protected Jonah and made a shading covering for him. God was always with Jonah. And no matter how much Jonah complained, no matter how much Jonah disliked everything, God was always with him. And it's just the same for us. God sees what we're going through. We say one thing out our mouth, but our mind is going crazy thinking, God, where are you? And yet God is right there with us, waiting for us to call out to him. God will never leave us, never forsake us. He's providing for us. He's protecting us. He wakes us up every morning. God is with us. Never run from God, because the best place you can be is in God's hands. Thank you for listening. I hope that you continue to grow with God, and I hope that you know that God is the one who provides. God is the one who protects you, and he has his own ways of doing things. He has his own ideas and his own creativity for you. God is going to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ask or think. All you have to do is take hold of everything God says you are and start following God. Go in the direction he has for you, because that is the best life for you. Thank you, and God bless.